If you want to hit Williams real fast, because I think everybody knows what Williams is as far as speed. I think he was easily the fastest receiver in the draft. And if he doesn't tear his ACL, I think he is in play for the Jets at pick 4. I really do. He is, but that's not just the only thing he is, right? He's not just a guy who Goff is going to need, because I think this is the kind of jumping off point of the conversation is, did the Lions draft Jameson Williams for Goff, or did they draft him
long term?
Yeah, I mean, is it for a player who can vertically threaten a defense, or can Goff utilize him? Absolutely, it's both.
Yeah,
so
like he's so fast that he could fit anything, and like obviously for Goff, I mean, we disrespect him every week anyway. I don't want to say I don't want to disrespect the guy, but he doesn't really throw guys open. So like I feel like
I'll disrespect him.
He needs guys like Jameson Winston. What the hell am I saying? Jameson Williams, who just gets fucking open because they're just extremely fast,
Plus also the yards after catch stuff.
Yes.
So you don't have to, I mean, with him, you don't have to chuck it 50 yards downfield to let him be effective. You can throw drags and crossers and not necessarily screens, but,
you can
short
even
throws.
The bubble stuff with him and Swift, you know what I'm saying, having both behind the line of scrimmage, like you have an option there, like fuck up defenses completely.
Maybe a jet sweep, maybe, get the ball in his hands in open space.
I'm going 6 to midnight,
possible,
boys.
Yes.
It's
and
he's a playmaker.
He doesn't, again, and you don't need to just chuck it deep I mean, look at the way the Dolphins used Jalen Waddle last year, right? Like they did everything in their power just to get him the ball. And yeah, he had a low yards per catch, but he had a bunch of catches. Now I wouldn't think that that's in the cards, but you don't need to, just throw it deep to him. And then if he's not catching 40-yard bombs, he's failing. No, I think that this is a guy who you want the ball in his hands and just letting him outrun angles. But more importantly, when he lines up on one side of the field, the safety has to be very aware of where he is, right? Like It's not just the corner covering him. It's the safety too. He's so fast. He's going to dictate coverage. The Lions have been very outspoken from an offensive standpoint that they wanted somebody who would 100% force the defense to honor his speed and dictate the coverage that was going to be played. That's him. So just because you're not throwing to him doesn't mean he's not affecting the play. So if he's dragging a safety into a part of the field where then you are exploiting the smart stuff. So, just his presence on the field and Chark's presence on the field with his speed is going to open up the middle parts of the field for other players. So from an offensive standpoint, from a team concept, his addition is a plus for everybody.
Yes.
It just is. So, and again, he doesn't need to catch 90 balls for – what's that?
I said we still have Hawkinson as a weapon as well.
Absolutely. So now if safety has to honor Jameson Williams and then linebacker has to cover Hawkinson, that's better. If you get DeAndre Swift into more open field because that whole quadrant of the field has been vacated by coverage with Jameson running deep, whatever, that's better for your offense. So there's a lot of ways to look at Williams and his addition and think, yeah, that really was beneficial for their offense. And we could look at Josh Reynolds as kind of like a poster boy for this. The Lions offense looked pretty vanilla and pretty bland until Reynolds got here. And after Reynolds showed up, things opened up for Goff. And now you've added this super fast vertical threat who can outrun angles and outrun coverage. I mean, his addition is just so intriguing. And I know they gave up a lot for him, but to me, there's a couple ways that you can look at that. You gave up 32, 34, and 66, but you got 46 back. So
I don't think they gave up a lot. I think it's really just swaps. Swaps in the first round, swap in the second round.
They gave
up
the third.
You moved up. Yeah. You moved up from 32 to 12 in round one. You moved up from 66 to 46 in round two, right? and you gave up pick 34 in totality to do those things. That's the way I'm viewing it.
Yeah.
So I know you lost a player who may or may not have worked out for you. But if I told you that you were giving up pick 34 and to do that, you were moving up 20 picks in round 1 and 20 picks in round 2, I think we would say, yeah, all day long, please, thank you. And that's the way I'm viewing it. It's like, this is what they did. And there's so many ways that he impacts the offense. It's going to be super interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, I'm excited. And like you said, it's going to open up the whole offense. You have DJ Chark, Jameson Williams running down the sidelines, taking the top. Safety's got to go after one of them. You have Hawk in the middle going up a seam against a linebacker. You have DeAndre Swift coming out of the backfield, maybe facing a linebacker. You have Amon-Ra running across the middle, one-on-one, single coverage, trying to outrun these guys. And this is the year. I hate to bring it back to this. I know everybody's sick of this, but if Jared Goff doesn't produce this year, when are you going to produce? You got a top 5 offensive line. You got a top 10 running game. You got 2 studs on the outside.
Top 3 girlfriend.
A top 3 girlfriend, yeah. So you don't got to worry about the home life. And it's tough, but I'm really excited. Like you said, this is a guy the Packers wanted. This is a guy the Eagles wanted. This is who they were trading up to try to get. And Brad Holmes put it on the table and said, take the picks. I'm going out there. I'm going to get this guy. He was probably the number 1 wide receiver on their board. And they're like, oh, shit, this guy's still here at 12. We're going to go get him. And like you said, I haven't seen a GM in Detroit be that ballsy. Make those plays. Say, fuck them picks. I want my guy. And he went up there and he got him. And I'm excited. And I saw the video of him rehabbing. He's already doing cone drills. He's doing hexagon drills. He's doing light, back and forth work. And so he's not that far away. But I want him to take their time with him. I don't want him to rush him back out there on a season that nobody's really expecting much from anyways. Get re-injured and then lose him for another year. I want him to be 100% healthy, ready to go. So give him the first couple weeks of the season, let him rehab, and then put him in there. He's like a Maserati, turn the sports car engine on and let him fucking go. And I'm excited for it.
Can I ask this
Absolutely.
guy?
And
what
him,
concerns, if any, do you have of him?
Just his health. He's thin and wiry, so I don't want him taking a ton of contact. But in the end, it's just get him back to where he was pre-ACL, and as far as that goes, you're not, I don't know that I'd want to give him, jet sweeps and all that kind of stuff. I just don't want him taking a bunch of contact.
Yeah.
But with him, he is. This is the thing is like we have wanted Brad Holmes to do something aggressive, right? Like if there was a complaint. To this point, it's been that everything has been calculated and safe and careful, and they're not doing anything with contracts. They're not overpaying anybody, kind of stuff. This was bold. This is bringing on some risk. Giving anytime you move up, you're giving up an opportunity to bring on, a good player. So, giving up pick 34 is not a great thing to do in any situation, but you added, to me, he was the draft's best receiver, not necessarily close. And you gave up pick 34 for him. Obviously you got something on the back end too. I look at it like the Lions added 2 of the top 5 players in this draft. And I don't know how that's a problem. You gave up nothing in the future. You gave up nothing, no picks for next year to do this, and he is a ridiculous football player. He's just such an explosive guy.
Pat Caputo thinks it's a problem with giving up all that draft capital to move up into the first round and get an injured wide receiver. I think it's the same old Lions kind of look here, and I'd love to hear from you. Callers are open, lines are open. Give me a fucking break, Pat. Like, Jesus, man.
Thanks for calling in, Pat.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, you could have stayed pat. You could have held on to pick 32 and taken a safety or a linebacker or whatever. And then you could have taken a wide receiver with pick 34 and in the end, it's the same type of conversation as with the quarterback. If you're not getting a franchise-altering player, if you're not getting a player who can do different things, then what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, you get yourself if you got yourself an average starting safety with pick 32 and a reasonably decent wide receiver with pick 34, okay, what is it doing for? What are we doing?
Yeah.
This team needs. You need explosive playmakers,
Juice.
and you can't do that. I'm sorry, no offense to Pat, and I understand what he's saying, but you can't. You're not getting an explosive, franchise-altering player at pick 32. You're just not. Now I know the argument would be, well, the Christian Watson went there, and it's like, okay, that's fine, but Christian Watson has miles to go before he's even anywhere near what Jameson Williams is as a player. Period. So,
Period.
Moving on. Period.
Give me some ganja. 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 Give me some ganja.